welcome to the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education meeting this December 15, 2025. Roll call please, Mrs. Kirk.
Ms. Calderon?
Here.
Ms. Coleman?
Here.
Mrs. Wong?
Here.
Ms. Keller? Mrs. Martin? Here. Mr. Stankus?
Here. Well, what they should do.
Ms. Stephens? Here.
Who said
Mr.
this?
Weaver?
No, Willie was here. But we
Mrs. Burgess?
Here.
need to test it.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing copies of said notice to the record, filing copies of said notice with the municipal clerks of Hillsdale, Montvale, Rivervale, and Woodcliff Lake, and publishing said notice in the record on July 2nd, 2025. We'll now have our student recognitions. The first one will be for the Bergen Record Athlete of the Week, September 4th, 2025, football. Whereas Adam Shaw, a senior at Pascack Valley High School, was named the Bergen Record Athlete of the Week on September 4th, 2025 for football. Adam was specifically recognized for his noteworthy performance against Union City. Adam concluded his exceptional high school career with 2,436 passing yards and 20 touchdowns. In just 3 games this fall season, Adam recorded 3 sacks and 46 tackles. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognizes and commends Adam for his outstanding achievement. Is Adam here? No. Next we have the Bergen Record Athlete of the Week, September 12th, 2025 for girls soccer. Whereas Allie Poliniak, a senior at Pascack Valley High School, was named the Bergen Record Athlete of the Week on September 12, 2025 for girls soccer. She served as team captain her senior year, leading the team to the sectional final. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognizes and commends Allie for her outstanding achievement. Next, we have the Bergen Record Athlete of the Week for October 17th, 2025 for volleyball. Whereas Madeline Romero, a senior at Pascack Valley High School, was named the Bergen Record Athlete of the Week on October 17, 2025 for volleyball. Madeline was recognized for assisting the Panthers in advancing to the Bergen County Championship bracket quarterfinals. Madeline concluded her impressive high school career with 1,014 digs. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognizes and commends Madeline for her outstanding achievement. We have the Bergen Record Athlete of the Week for November 14th, 2025 for volleyball. Whereas Eva Myers, a senior at Pascack Hills High School, was named the Bergen Record Athlete of the Week on November 14, 2025 for volleyball. Eva was specifically recognized for her performance during the team's state playoff debut. Eva recorded 225 kills, 35 aces, 19 blocks, and a 280 hitting percentage in her senior season, and concluded her accomplished high school career with 364 kills, 44 blocks, 117 digs, and 53 aces. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognizes and commends Eva for her outstanding achievement. Next we have the All-Region Team Girls Soccer. Whereas Allie Poliniak, a senior at Pascack Valley High School, was named to the Fall East All-Region Team for Girls Soccer. She has impressively surpassed 150 career points over 4 seasons, ending the year with 24 goals and 13 assists. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognizes and commends Allie for her outstanding achievement. Next, we have the first team All-County. Whereas the following students were selected to the first team All-County: Allie Poliniak, Girls Soccer, Pascack Valley High School; Kylie DiVincenzo, Gymnastics All-Around, Pascack Valley High School; Hope Gasparino, Gymnastics All-Around, Pascack Valley High School; Courtney Grieve, Gymnastics Beam, Pascack Valley High School; Sydney Flans, Gymnastics Uneven Bars, Pascack Hills High School; Kiara O'Cathane, Cross Country, Pascack Valley High School. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education recognizes and commends these students for their outstanding achievements. Next, we have a presentation for the annual audit report. I can't believe everyone is leaving for this, but okay. This will be given by Brian Gibbons, the auditor for Nisabafia. Let's start with routine matters. Let's go on to routine matters. So we are going to move on to routine matters as we are just waiting for Mr. Gibbons. Next, we will have the interim superintendent report by Mr. Phillips.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate our student recipients. I understand the difficulty of managing academics and extracurricular activities, so I commend you on your successes inside and outside of the classroom. I want to congratulate staff members who are recognized as Teacher of the Year and Educator Service Provider of the Year. At Pascack Hills High School, Jan Yam, a history teacher, and Jenna Howard, the school counselor, were recognized. And Pascack Valley High School, Craig Goremko, the band teacher, and Natalie Bird, child study team member. So congratulations to those individuals. It was a lot of fun. We were able to announce that those award winners in their classroom or their office space without them being aware of it, so we had some great reactions. Our construction projects, at Milestone, the exterior ramp is currently being constructed. We did find a broken exterior pipe while excavating. We replaced that pipe on Friday, and the project is moving forward. At Valley, our HVAC project in cafeteria is slowly progressing. The kitchen ventilation hoods are the last items that need to be completed. Once they are ready, we will have a building inspection, and the health inspector will come, and then we'll be open for operations. Also at Valley, the auditorium, we met with our contractors last week to discuss progress. We are hoping the project will be completed by the end of January. And also at Valley, we've installed the visitor management system. It's up and running. Parents along with other visitors will now have to show identification upon entering the building, and will be given a visitor lanyard to wear. I want to thank the custodial and maintenance staff for their dedication. We had 2 recent events that showed their commitment and their efficiencies. Yesterday, we had a good accumulation of snow on a Sunday. Typically, you wouldn't think that we're that concerned about it, but we do have a lot of outside local organizations using our buildings during the weekend. We were able to clear the lots and the walkways, so nothing was canceled or postponed. Then on November 20th, for those at Hills might remember, we did have a power failure, and we had to cancel school for the Hills students and faculty. We were fortunate to have our skilled maintenance staff available to complete the work in-house. Otherwise, we may have experienced a multi-day closure. We're very fortunate to have individuals who can handle these emergencies and are licensed to do so. So I'm very thankful for them. I want to recognize some individuals because I know it's a very difficult decision when it comes to retirement, and it's always bittersweet for the district. We have a couple staff members who have decided to put in their retirement papers and will be retiring at the end of the school year, so I want to congratulate them and wish the best as they finish the school year. Mary Ann Simic, who's Executive Secretary at Pascack Hills, who has worked here for 29 years, and Natalie Mackey, a science teacher here at Hills, and she's been with us for 21 years. I want to congratulate Cindy Kirk for making it through her first audit with flying colors, and our auditors will be here a little bit later and speak further about those results. We are at the beginning stages of our 26-29 school budget. Individual budgets have been submitted. Cindy and I are now meeting individually with our directors and administrators to review their budgets. Once that process is complete, the entire district budget will be constructed and examined to determine our next steps. One of my responsibilities as the superintendent is to monitor legislative action, and I just want to inform the public and the board that there's been a lot of chatter downtrend about cell phones in school. So keep your eye on it, that there might be some changes that are happening down the road real soon. And the last thing is our next meeting is our reorganization meeting on January 7th. So I do want to wish everyone a peaceful and enjoyable holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Mr. Rubens is here, and so he will now present the annual audit report as he's the auditor from Ms. Abacchio.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Rubens. I'm a principal with Ms. Abacchio, the auditing firm. Valerie Dolan, the partner, unfortunately had another meeting tonight, so I'm covering for her. So I first wanted to say thank you to Cindy for putting up with us for another audit. I know it's a stressful time, but I think we have a good relationship with each other and for a few years now. And she was a huge help during the process, getting through everything. Her and her staff were very accommodating and handled all of our requests in a timely manner to be able to get through. So, and I know it was a transition period for Cindy's first full audit as the business administrator, but from our point of view, it was a really seamless transition and very, very consistent. With that being said, I'm gonna start with the main operating fund of the district, that's the general fund. The general fund ended the year with a fund balance of $13,334,000. That was down slightly from the prior year of $14,700,000. And of that $13 million fund balance, there's a few different buckets that make up that total fund balance. So your largest bucket of that fund balance is your capital reserve. That ended the year a little over $5 million. The maintenance reserve ended the year with a balance of a little over $900,000. We also have an emergency reserve that's been used to offset some of the increasing healthcare costs. That ended the year just shy of $315,000. Current year excess surplus, which was generated in the operations of the 24-25 year, was $2.6 million. And that excess surplus is derived from anything in excess of the unassigned, which is a calculated fund balance that the state has, and it's based off 2% of overall budgeted expenditures for the year. So the state only allows you to keep up to 2% in that unassigned. So anything above that unassigned goes into your excess surplus. Prior year excess surplus, so that was surplus that was generated during 23-24 and was used to help support the budget that you're currently in, 25-26. That was $2.5 million. And a reserve for unemployment compensation was $227,000. We also had some ending encumbrance balances, $68,000. So those are open purchase orders as of June 30th that were obligated but not yet spent, and that those funds roll over into the subsequent year's budget. An additional amount of $96,000 used to as revenue for your 25-26 budget. And then lastly, as I mentioned, your unassigned fund balance, which is at the maximum for the state allowance of $1,577,000. So all of those buckets together add up to your $13,334,000 overall fund balance in your general fund. So as I mentioned, it is down approximately $1.3 million from the prior year, but still very healthy. And just some highlights of what caused the change in the fund balance there. You had excess local revenue, which is your tuition, your miscellaneous revenue, predominantly interest earnings, that had an excess of what was anticipated of $477,000. Your state revenue, which is your state aid and some grants that go into your general fund, that had an excess of what was budgeted of $316,000. And unexpended appropriations of a little less than $3.9 million. So we also utilized, or I should say you utilized, your reserves during the year. So we had withdrawals from your capital reserve, your maintenance, and your emergency. You mentioned your emergency reserve had a withdrawal to help offset some of the increasing healthcare costs. Maintenance reserves had budgeted withdrawals, as well as board-approved withdrawals to help offset ongoing and pay for ongoing maintenance projects throughout the year. And same thing, you had a budgeted withdrawal from your capital reserve, as well as additional withdrawals throughout the year to help support the ongoing capital projects at the district. So predominantly, you're utilizing some of those reserves of what they were originally established for, and you're really investing in the district itself by maintaining those capital projects and doing a lot of that. So a little bit more on excess surplus. We all know all the districts are facing really difficult budgeting times and just challenges. But I will say at the district here, the use of excess surplus from 24-25, the year under audit, the year that you're currently in, and next year, you've been able to generate and remain very consistent with what you're using to support your operations for excess surplus, which is very good. We really like to see consistency on that front. So in 24-25, you used $2.5 million to help support the budget. 25-26, the year you're in, you used just shy of 2.6. And then again, what you generated in this past audit, an additional 2.6 will be used to help support your 26-27 budget. And I just mentioned you're starting that process, so that may not be the final number, but that's the number that's required by the state that you're going to use based on your surplus calculation for that starting point for that budget. So a little more information on the activity of those reserves I mentioned. Starting with your capital reserve. That began the year with a balance just shy of $5.5 million. You had some interest earnings, minimal, and you were able to make a deposit of year-end surplus of $1,750,000. You also had some unexpended project balances that were taken out of that capital reserve in prior years, and maybe projects came in under budget, and it was just excess funds that, if they're not fully expended, they go back to where they came from, the capital reserve. So unexpended funds returned was $426,000, and you used about $2.6 million in withdrawals to move that over into your capital projects fund to do those larger ongoing capital projects. So with all that activity, that's how we get to the balance of $5,039,000 at year end. Your maintenance reserves, some very similar activity. Began the year a little over $1.2 million. You had a year-end deposit by resolution of $278,000 to help replenish some of those withdrawals that you used throughout the year. And those withdrawals throughout the year to help pay for those ongoing maintenance costs was just shy of $600,000. And that left you with a balance of $980,000. Emergency reserve, I touched on a little bit previously. Began the year of $563,000, and you utilized $250,000 in the 24-25 budget to help offset the cost of the healthcare. So the capital projects fund, that is, as I mentioned, where the district accounts for in their audit report those ongoing larger capital projects that usually take over a period of over a year. So the fund balance in that capital projects fund was $4,771,000 at year end. And what that is unexpended funds that were authorized for those projects. So there was still, out of all the projects that were still ongoing and authorized, there was still $4.7 million sitting in there that were authorized to spend for those projects. And we mentioned it every year. I sit down with Cindy and we go through all the capital projects. And there's quite a few, I think, of all the districts that I see that your district has the most going on, which is a testament to how organized everybody is in the business office to be able to keep track of all that stuff going on. We also want to say that all those capital projects that the district has been doing, you're being able to utilize your capital reserve to pay for that, as well as 2 SBA ROD grants, which you still have the receivable for, approximately $750,000, which is really a great thing to take advantage of that offering to be able to continue to invest in the districts. Moving on, just a snapshot of the long-term liabilities for the district. As of June 30th, you're able to pay down your existing serial bonds, leaving you the balance of $7.7 million. Related to those outstanding serial bonds are what's called unamortized bond issuance premiums. So when those bonds were issued, the district received a premium, and over the life of the bonds, as you pay them back, that liability is related to that will go down and is amortized. So as those bonds are paid off, that liability goes down with it. We paid down some of the outstanding leases, leaving you the balance of $574,000 remaining. Paid down a capital lease, we used to call it, now called finance purchase, of $670,000. Your compensated absences, so that is the liability for all eligible employees' unused sick and vacation time. That decreased from the prior year and ended at $977,000. So that's, like I said, a long-term liability. It's not a liability that's going to really come due. I did hear a couple teachers put in their for their retirements, but it's not a liability, and that's everybody as of June 30th. Not everybody's going to retire. So that's something that's budgeted for and forecasted, but is notice that a large liability like that would not come knocking so properly. Lastly, the net pension liability for the district decreased a little less than $750,000 from the prior year and ended at $10,717,000. And that's determined by the state of New Jersey's actuaries and all information that comes from them, but we are required to include that as a liability in the district's report. And again, not a liability that will have to be paid out shortly. That's over the life of all the employees in that pension system. We're also happy to report no findings and recommendations this year. Cindy, that's a great job. Very happy about that. And just two suggestions that we are putting in all of our district's reports. Just really some language that deals with two new accounting standards that are going to be applicable for next year's audit. Nothing that's going to impact the district's day-to-day operations. It's really dealing with improving some of the financial reporting models in our audit report. So you'll see next year in the audit report, there's just going to be maybe a couple pages that look a little different or improved, and it's really dealing with just improving the reporting that we're showing and including more detailed analyses and things of that nature. But just something we want to make you aware of that is on the horizon. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions or clarify anything.
Any questions? Anyone want to clarify? Thank you, Mr. Green.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate you.
Right,
And
thank you to you and your team for your help throughout the year and during the audit. You're always very helpful. And thank you, I just want to thank the business office staff as well, because we couldn't get to where we are in our audit without their everyday, very hard work. So thank you to them as well. Great job, team.
Yeah, we as a board would like to thank Cindy and the board office also. We truly appreciate you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the negotiation committee report for November 19th, 2025, which I will give. We had a initial meeting to just to go over the negotiation that we have for this coming up soon with the PPRSSA, and it really we didn't come to a conclusion on anything. It was just really a meeting before the negotiations. So that's that. Anyone have any questions about the negotiation? Okay, next we have the Finance Committee report for December 4th, 2025 by Mrs. Martin.
Hello. So I really don't need to add much to what Mr. Gibbs just said, other than, mine is very short. Again, a huge thanks to Cindy. It came up over and over again in our meeting with the partner, Valerie Dolan, and obviously Brian Gibbons, about how easy you were to work with and how it was done well, so it made their job easier. And I'm very proud to say there were no official recommendations, so kudos to you guys. Thanks again for all you do.
Thank you, Mrs. Martin. Next we have the Policy Committee report for December 9th, 2025 by Mr. Stiles.
Yeah, we had the policy committee meeting last week, and basically it was just a couple of issues came up. One regarding the freedom to read summary, and that's basically a policy that protects libraries, library materials. There's a process that you have to go through now in order to, if somebody challenges materials in the library, so we just want to make sure that policy protects the libraries, the librarian, and also resource materials, and that was a different area that we had to update some language of that. And then there was just a few things about use of
Thank you, Mr. Stankus. Next, we have the governance committee report for earlier today, for December 15th, which I will give. We first discussed the board committees for 2026. There will be a Google form that will go out for the board committees for everyone to fill out and let us know who wants to be on what committee for next year. We talked about absenteeism and how among both schools and how we can improve that. We talked about recapturing some instructional time from both schools. We talked about Board of Ed meeting dates for next year, so for the calendar year. We already have the dates up to June, but we are going to try to move over to what many other schools have, which would be the entire calendar year, to go from January to December. So we're going to, again, send out a Google form to discuss what we can as far as days and the rest of the calendar from July 2026 to December 2026. We talked about facilities use, some issues that we had with, certain ethics and some personnel and leadership issues. Any questions?
I just have a quick question. Did we decide to move the meetings to Wednesday evenings instead of Mondays for 2026?
That's what the Google form is going to be about.
Oh,
It just depends, because unfortunately it's been talked about in snippets, so everybody, like, it's gonna go here or there. So we're gonna, send out a Google form to find out who, if there's enough, obviously, if everybody is available to be able to do it. That way it just makes it easier than just snippets of conversation. Up to June. June, we're talking about July, or December.
Okay, because I think, isn't January 7th the Wednesday? So that's good.
Yeah, but that's usually, I don't know why it's like that, there's, Mr. Phillips is gonna explain.
So the meeting in January, because it's a reorganization meeting and we're swearing in re-elected or newly elected officials, the state mandates that we must have a meeting the first full week in January. Typically, coming off a break where no one's working, we can't have the meeting on the Monday the 5th. So it's on Wednesday to give us time in the office and for families to return from their vacations to be here.
Thank you.
Next, we have the student reports. First, we have Pascack Hills High School report by Stephanie Young.
Hi, so discussing item number 1. On Thursday, December 1st, 2025, Pascack Hills French classes had the opportunity to attend a field trip to the patisserie cafe located in Hollister, New Jersey. Students indulged in groups of sandwiches while visiting establishment here, shared life advice while talking about the forever changing world that led directly to AI companies and also investments such as real estate properties and taxes. Classroom number 2. In the honors marketing class, students executed a comprehensive real-world campaign pitch. Students had to select an event and thoroughly describe it, detailing its mission, farmers' benefits, mode distribution, target audience, etc. With the given products or service, they needed to provide a logo and its background. The core task was to analyze the fit between product features and event. Students devised a marketing strategy on Canva to identify the exact consumer emotions, outlining a multi-channel social media and integrated marketing communications execution plan, explaining how the strategy could be business as an operational. Lesson number 3. In Mrs. Caruso's honors forensics class, Pascack Hills seniors had the opportunity to conduct lab experiments on rats, determine this plan, process, and organisms. Modern organism parallels the human body, and forensic scientists try to determine the post-mortem in the world and the body cannot recognize it because of its rapid decaying process. Moving on to COVID-19 items. There are many more. So this entire month, Mrs. Elkin, our weekly busy traditional chamber choir caroling at Pascack Grove on December 23, 2025. Co-curricular item number 10. The project hires some children is currently underway. While it has been a slow start, they are optimistic that they will finish strong. They reflect the need unwrapped toys for children from infancy to age of 12. All donated toys are distributed directly to families in need of the New Jersey Community Development Corporation, NJCDC, a nonprofit organization dedicated to inclusion and community outreach. Last year, they collected 1,878 toys, and it would be awesome if they could bring that like last year's number. When students are involved in the numerous aspects of the toy drive, they visit the Great Falls Museum to help organize donations, box gifts for families, and create decorations for the fall celebration. Each group of students that visit the youth center always have a great time and it's a great opportunity to give back. The toy drive has become an important holiday tradition, one most students look forward to each year. Thank you so much for your continued support. Co-curricular item number 3. Pascack Trails Modern Medicine proved a really successful Princeton Modern Ed conference. For a few days, students had the opportunity to compete for awards, improve public speaking skills, and research for their categories. With the help of advisor Ms. Seaman, parent, treatment manager, and Mother Al, an outstanding delegate representing the delegation of Vietnam in the economic advantage community. In addition, Zara Islam on verbal commendations for taking on the role of Turkey captain in the Equal Rights Agreement campaign. Congratulations to the students. As always, the Model Young team is looking forward to the St. Peter's Mountain later this year. Athletic items. Athletic item number 1. Since placing second in the Great North Future Division last year, the boys' bowling team is off to an exciting start this year. Led by Coach Saxon, the Broncos are currently undefeated with an overall score of 4-0. For the week of December 15th to December 19th, 2025, they'll be taking a mile on Patterson County. In addition, Alex McKay is currently leading the team with an average of 184 on the 90 and his highest game, he has scored 246 points. The team is excited for this upcoming season. Athletic item number 7. The Pascack Hills High School wrestling team is highly motivated as they officially kick off their season. Following the week of intense off-season conditioning, the team has transitioned into eagerly preparing for the upcoming matches. On December 13th, the team had their match at Wendy Pandy-led tournament in Delaware Valley Regional High School with their 5th year at this tournament. Hassan Shawkat and Dylan Cahill, 2 seniors at Pascack Hills, both secured champion titles. Further strong showings include Maxim Gaff, who secured 3rd place with a 3-1 record, 3 wins, and Ashton Dominic and Hudson Mahone, who contributed by placing by earning 4th place for their team. Adding the season success, Carolina Southern won the Hartford Girls Tournament, securing a flawless 3-0 from its first career wins. Pascack Hills wrestling team is proud of their strong start and expect to build on their momentum through the season. Athletic item number 3. In the upcoming season, led by Captain Brian Silver from Pascack Hills High School, the girls' swim team is excited to compete after finishing 2nd place in the Great North Women's Division last year with a record of 4-4. Since opening this season, the team has gone undefeated, winning all 3 of their games by Gonzaga, nearly doubling the points against their opponents. This week they'll be playing against Northern Highlands on Tuesday, December 16th, 2025, and Pacific High School on Saturday, December 28th, 2025. Academic awards. On December 3rd, Pascack Hills High School celebrated linguistics achievements by inducting new members into its World Cultural Honor Societies. These societies recognize students who have demonstrated high academic achievement and mastery in the study of their respective world language. The program recognizes students who have received the UCA Bilingualism, as well as those who have pledged the following linguistic honor societies: Chinese Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, Italian Honor Society, and Spanish Honor Society. The UCA Bilingualism is given to the students excelling in the mastery of numerous languages, including Persian, Indian, Korean, Turkish, Russian, French, and Spanish. All of the World Language Honor Societies inducted students by giving them certificates, pledging with foreign languages, and letting them campus. Pascack Hills is incredibly proud to have a talented group of students and their dedication to language development. For my fun fact, Jingle Bells was originally written for Thanksgiving, not Christmas, and for my jingle of the day, what's a Christmas tree spirit candy? annual report for the Board of Education for December 2025.
Thank you, Stephanie. Next, we have Madeline Wu from Pascack Valley High School.
This is Valerie's monthly report for December, starting with classroom items. Classroom item number 1, Pascack Valley has enrolled the second chapter of the Spanish National Honor Society, which inducted 22 new members on December 4th. The Spanish National Honor Society students will be taking a Spanish course in their senior year at level 4 higher and must maintain a GPA of 3.7 in their Spanish classes. Students volunteered to participate in service/charitable works and activities, including at least 6 hours of school/community service. Moving on to co-curriculars, co-curricular item number 1 is the History Club continues its annual tradition of writing letters to our alumni in the military service. The club teamed up with our local American Legion to initiate the letter drive, which is always well received by the PD community and appreciated by the men and women in service. Thank you to all students and classes who wrote letters and calling cards. For co-curricular item number 2, the Environmental Club hosted a December used toy drive where they collected hundreds of gently used toys from the community and donated them to the Joyous Angel homeless shelter in Eastport, New Jersey. It keeps toys out of landfills and brings others joy. For co-curricular item number 3, the PVB Club members performed an inquiry-based hands-on lab practical that explored bee biology and bee equipment. They are also planning to sell money sticks as a fundraiser in December. Co-curricular item number 4 is the Pascack Valley Model UN at the Great First Conference on November 15th at Applied Technology High School in Paramus, New Jersey. Students work together representing a variety of countries to solve real-world issues related to security, human rights, education, and culture. A special congratulations to sophomores Claire Nahn and Charlie Wasserman for winning Best Position Paper representing Ukraine. In addition, on December 12th, several Model UN students, Mrs. Rams and Mr. Walter, attended a field trip to the UN headquarters in New York City, where they enjoyed a guided tour and gained great insight into the United Nations. Co-curricular item number 5 is this past month, the Interact Club held its annual toy drive where they collected toy donations from students in their club and donated them to children in need. Through the generosity of members, this initiative directly brings joy and makes tangible differences in the lives of children during the holiday season. For athletic items, athletic item number 1 is congratulations to Coach Jeff Jasper being appointed as a member to the Younger New Jersey Coaches by the NJBCA, New Jersey Basketball Coaches Association. In addition, the WBCA Women's Basketball Coaches Association has selected Coach Jasper to mentor coaches throughout the county and country. Coach Jasper stated, "I'm excited to share how all these great coaches, aside from New Jersey, I have coaches from Florida, Northern South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Mississippi, and Kentucky. Congratulations to Coach Jasper on both graduation goals." For my fun facts, the PVC government hosted another successful Valley Cup. The day before the Daily Bridge, it was a spirited week culminating in an exciting assembly. Highlights were an entertaining relay and speedball tournament. And then for my joke, I had "How do mountains stay warm in the winter?" They put their snow caps on. This concludes our report.
Thank you, Madeline. I'd like to just talk about one other thing. So we have been updating everyone on the superintendent search. We as a board have asked Mr. Phillips to stay on for another year or so, essentially until April 30th, 2027. We found that his strong work ethic, his clear, effective communication, and his extensive work experience were really in line with what we wanted as a superintendent. Also, in light of his extensive work experience, he's been able to guide and mentor some of the new hires in the board office. And so for those reasons, we wanted some more stability, less disruption in the district. And so we've asked Mr. Phillips to stay on as superintendent until April 30th, 2027. So that was just the update on the superintendent search as of right now. Next, we have the minutes for the November 17th, 2025 regular meeting and the executive session Can I get a motion, please?
So,
Any discussion? Roll call, please. Ms. Burke?
Ms. Calderon,
yes.
Ms. Guzman,
Yes.
Mrs. Wong,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Stankus,
Yes.
Ms. Stefan,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes. Next, we have comments from the public. Citizens are invited to make comments regarding agenda items and are limited to 3 minutes. According to the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education Policy Number 0167, persons wishing to speak must, upon being recognized, rise, sign in, and state their name, town of residence, and which agenda item they will be referencing. Anyone who would like to speak from the public? Okay. Next, we will move on to policy, for which we have 3 consent agenda items. Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Mrs. Burke?
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Ms. Guzman,
Yes.
Mrs. Wong,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Stankus,
Yes.
Ms. Stefan,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes, 1 and 2 abstain for.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes. Next, we have education, for which we have 2 consent agenda items. Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Mrs. Burke?
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Ms. Guzman,
Yes.
Mrs. Wong,
Yes.
Mrs. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Stankus,
Yes.
Ms. Stefan,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes. Next, we have human resources, for which we have 19 consent agenda items. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Mrs. Burke?
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Ms. Guzman,
Yes.
Mrs. Wong,
Yes.
Ms. Absent. Mrs. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Stankus,
Yes to everything, abstain from number 2.
Ms. Stefan,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes. Next, we have finance, for which we have 23 consent agenda items. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, Mrs. Burke?
Ms. Calderon,
Yes.
Ms. Guzman,
Yes.
Mrs. Wong,
Yes.
Ms. Martin, Mr. Stankus,
Yes.
Ms. Stefan,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mrs. Varghese,
Yes. Next, we have old business. Any discussion on old business? Any new business?
Yeah, I went to the, yeah. Oh, who's going? You wanna go? I went to the Bergen County meeting. Just 2 weeks ago, they had a presentation on AI. And that was quite good. We went to Ramsey School District and the administrators just demonstrated how they utilize AI in education. And they also gave Haring School Leader Award presentation, a couple of recognitions. But it was very good. I encourage anyone interested in going, sign up. Maybe get some people out there. All right. Any questions?
So I just wanted to bring up the elephant in the room, that there's a ton of development being done in all our towns. And I've had a couple of my members, my constituents come to me and ask me, what is the school planning to do? And I've had a couple of conversations with Mr. Phillips, and he's reached out to a couple of our administrators. I'm not sure if we got back since the last time we spoke, but I know it's kind of a moving target because we don't know how many of these units are going to have children in them, or how many are going to be coming to the high school, but I think we kind of need to consider any. So if you could do that for us, that'd be great. More than I do.
Do you want to address it now, or I give,
But just, we
Yeah.
are looking at it,
So-
and we're
Yeah, I want to clarify, when administrators, I have contacted the four borough administrators. I've heard back from a couple of them, just asking about what recently finished housing projects they have, what currently is being constructed, and what is currently approved to be constructed. I'm trying to get a better idea of the potential impact. I did receive a demographic study that was a little bit older from Montvale Public Schools, but it does have a lot of projects that were completed recently or are in the process of being completed. Periodically, the district will go through a demographic study. I believe we're scheduled to do ours next year, correct, Sydney? So we'll get a better idea. I think there's two concerns when you're looking at the development projects. One is potential enrollment increases. We do have enrollment in both schools are down compared to where they were probably about 7 to 12 years ago. So we do have some available space as far as potential enrollment. The second concern is usually with tax impact. The school district taxes and revenue are based on previous tax levy from the school district. So if a town either increases or loses rateables, that does not affect our revenue. Our revenue is always going to be capped at a 2% tax levy, and it's not based on the rateables in town. The rateables, whether you lose or gain more rateables, is impacting the individual taxpayers. But we can discuss that when we want a more thorough presentation.
Thank you.
So just kind of my 2 cents on that topic, because I lived as a councilman back when Montvale went through their last round of affordable housing. In my opinion, there's really nothing for us to do. We're at the mercy of the town councils and their negotiations with developers. And in my opinion, it's a corrupt system. Developers come in and they claim that they're gonna build for affordable housing, and they only have to give 10, 15, 20% of affordable housing in order to build hundreds of units. And when a council is negotiating with a developer, that really is like crucial to what we have to then plan for. So if a town council negotiates for 20, 25, 30 units to the acre, it's a problem. You know, when you see some towns that are able to negotiate for 10 to 15 units per acre, that's advantageous to the school district. So for any resident who is curious about what the school is going to do, I would encourage any resident in the 4 towns to focus on their town council and their town council meetings and the negotiations that are happening between their council and the developers, because we have no say in that. And it was interesting for me to read that Woodcliff Lake has negotiated a pilot with the developer that's coming in for BMW, and not to get into the politics of it, but you know, when you negotiate a pilot, it's much different than when you don't, and potential impacts on schools. So we're not people to come talk to. We just have to kind of, I don't want to say problem, but we have to deal with the problem of increased enrollment, and we don't have a say in the decisions that are made. So again, anybody who has questions, I know when your town council meetings are.
Any other new business? Okay, next we have comments from the public. Citizens are invited to make comments and are limited to 3 minutes according to the Pascack Valley Regional High School District Board of Education Policy Number 0167. Persons wishing to speak must upon being recognized, rise, sign in, and state their name and town of residence. Anyone? Seeing as how there's no one, can I get a motion to enter into executive session, please? There will be no action, I believe, right? We're not voting, no action taken in the executive session, so we will during some